Hello everyone and welcome back to Tanner Plays Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Today we are going to do a few things in Viridian City and go out into the Viridian Forest and hopefully get to Pewter City, but you might recall that on the last episode we started the game and we got our starter Pokemon, Eevee. One thing that I wanted to do before we started anything in this episode was change Eevee's nickname. You might recall that if you've played the past Pokemon games that they made it a little bit difficult for you to change your partner or really any Pokemon's name. So they made it a little bit easier in this game by letting you just choose from the party menu and change their name at any time. So we're changing this to Eve. That was the suggestion that my friend David left on the last episode, and I really like that nickname, so we're going to use it. And as a reminder, you can leave your suggestions in the comments on any of these videos, and if I see them and I like the nickname, then we'll use it. It really all depends, and of course the party will be alternating throughout the series, so we'll kind of see how things go. But for now, we need to head out of Pallet Town because there's really not much else we can do here, so let's go ahead and leave. Hey Tanner. Oh, just look at Eevee. You two are already looking like great partners, and I've got the perfect little gift for such a great team. Here, take this. So we got sportswear, and this is a pretty interesting feature that they added into Let's Go. You can actually dress up your partner Pokemon, and they brought back a feature from previous Pokemon games. If you played X and Y, or if you watch someone play X and Y, or Sun and Moon, you might recall something similar to this. You could interact with your Pokemon in your party. Well, in this game, they changed it just a bit, where you can only interact with your partner like this. But it's very similar to that aspect where you can kind of pet your Pokemon and feed them and all that stuff. So that's just a little bit of extra immersion to the game, and it's pretty cool, I think. So let's go ahead and back out of here, and let's check out that costume. Okay, so let's check in the bag. You can go here into the clothing trunk, and you can actually pick out outfits for yourself as well, but that's a little bit later into the game, so we'll look at that later. But for now, let's take a look at the caps, the sports cap. That looks pretty cool, and this costume actually matches your default costume. So, and we don't have any clothes, as you can see, for our primary character yet, but we'll see that pretty soon. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, as far as the party, I don't plan on using these two for very long. As far as like the permanent team, I haven't planned anything out, and I plan on just kind of seeing what we find and going with that. And hopefully by the end of the game, we will have a pretty balanced team. So let's go out into Route 1 and see what we can find. Really, there's not a huge selection out here, but it's worth a look. Thanks for helping me out with that parcel. The Pokemart is a convenient chain selling all sorts of items, so please come visit us. Oh, I know. I'll give you a sample. Here you go. So we got a potion, and this will actually come in handy. If you have not played a Pokemon game, it basically works, in a similar manner to most turn-based RPGs, including item usage. You can use items in battle. One of those items is the potion, and there are different types of potions, but for right now we'll just be looking at the basic potion, and this heals 20 HP to a single Pokemon, so early on in the game that's really all you'll need, so we'll be just stocking up on some regular potions as soon as we can, because we will be getting into trainer battles, as we can see here. Trainer battles are maintained from previous games. They have changed the wild capture system, as you probably saw in the last episode, but trainer battles are pretty much exactly the same as they were in previous games. So let's go ahead and have our first non-rival fight. And this one should be pretty easy. He has a level 3 Rattata, and yeah, we should pretty much take him out pretty quickly. Yeah, that did quite a bit of damage, and especially doing Tail Whip, that's not a really good idea right now. Yeah, a quick attack should do this Rattata in. So I'm recording this episode quite a while after I recorded the first episode, and that's because of some audio issues that I was having, and those were preventing me from recording. But now that everything's fixed up, I can record again, which is great, and we can get back on schedule finally. One thing that I wanted to say was I might have forgotten some aspects that I discussed in the first episode, so if I go over anything again, please forgive me for that. I'll get back on track. So it looks like we've met Trace here again. And he's teaching us about the Pokemon Center. So basically, the Pokemon Center can heal your Pokemon back to perfect health, and I believe that applies to all the Pokemon in your box in this game as well, which is pretty cool. I don't think that was the case in the previous Pokemon games. So let's go ahead and rest our Pokemon. We will want to give some individual attention as far as training to the other Pokemon in the party as well. I do plan on using the Bellsprout later on, because we will need a grass type for the first gym, which we'll be coming up to pretty soon. We'll be getting our first gym badge. So here on Route 22, we can actually find some Pokemon that we have not seen yet. And what I'll be doing is I'll be capturing some Pokemon that we don't have logged in the Pokedex. I won't be going for a 100% complete capture run or anything, but if we do find Pokemon that look interesting... Oh wow, that was a really bad throw. If we do find Pokemon that look interesting... What is happening? Okay, there we go. That was strange. I swear I was throwing it. Anyway, if we do come across Pokemon that look interesting, we will capture them, and we might use them on the team. It depends on how things work out. But hopefully by the end of the game, we will have a solid team that we, can focus on leveling up and everything. Anyway, this route is pretty interesting because it is basically leading up to the final area in the game. And it doesn't allow you to go up there yet, the Pokemon League, but it gives you a little glimpse at what's to come, so that's pretty cool. The Elite Four is the final challenge, but we will be seeing them much later, and it's not something to focus on right now for sure. So, looks like we're going to be fighting Trace again, and we will be fighting Trace a lot throughout this Let's Play. Really, like with Pokemon games in general, there are a lot of rival battles, and we will be seeing that for sure in this game. So, I don't want to focus all of my attention on Eevee here. That would probably not be the best idea. I know a lot of people, especially when they first start playing Pokemon, really focus on their starters and leave their other Pokemon under-leveled, and that's not a good idea. So what I'm going to try to do is give each Pokemon a little bit of time on the battlefield so they can level up and be more or less equal as far as levels. So I'm going to give Bellsprout their chance to shine here. Hopefully that sand attack does not lower my accuracy too much. It's one of the most annoying moves early in the game, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so if battles aren't really interesting or are tedious or not really important, I will be cutting those out. I'll be cutting little things out here and there, but trust me, they're not anything that are super important. I'll keep the important details in, and the important battles and captures and stuff in, but anything that's not super important will be cut out. Alright, doing okay so far. Doing pretty good. As long as we can get this Pidgey out of the way, I think we'll be alright. And as you can probably guess, Trace's other Pokemon is his Pikachu. So I think it's only fair to send out our starter as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So Eve, it is your time to fight. Alright, so from what I've experienced in my playthrough, Eevee does a pretty good job of fighting against Pikachu. Not really sure what the deal is with that. I was never like super knowledgeable about, battle statistics and all that stuff with Pokemon. But Eevee does pretty well, like surprisingly well against most enemies in this game. And there we go. Eevee was really never one that I used in previous Pokemon games. I always used an evolution in the first gen games. So I think I used Vaporeon in my first Pokemon Red playthrough. And I always loved Vaporeon. It's kind of a shame that you can't do the evolutions with your starter in this, but it makes sense. And, in another way, I understand completely why they did that. Alright, so as you might remember in the last episode, Team Rocket was standing here and blocking the way. And now they're out of the way, so we can go ahead and move forward. But first, I want to look at a few things here in Viridian City. Here they talk about Pokemon that you can take out of the Pokeball. And that's kind of a cool feature. I mentioned it briefly in the last episode, if I remember correctly. But you can choose a Pokemon and take them out of the Pokeball. and Eevee will always be on your cap, or if you're playing Let's Go Pikachu, I believe Pikachu perches on your shoulder, and then you'll have another Pokemon following behind you or in front of you or whatever. They each have individual animations, and they're actually really cool. It's kind of fun to test all the Pokemon you capture and see what their animations are like. One of my favorites is actually Bellsprout, because Bellsprout runs in front of you. So let's give that a try. As you can see here, Bellsprout kind of tries to run ahead of you, which I think is really funny. Okay, so I think it's probably a good idea. Oh yeah, and the Pokemon that are out in the overworld can notice things, and sometimes they'll pick up items for you and give them to you, which is pretty cool. It's kind of an evolution of the idea that was started in Pokemon Yellow and kind of continued in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So let's go ahead into the Pokemart and see what they have for sale. This early on in the game, there's really not a whole lot for sale, but I think we will be buying a few things to prepare for the upcoming areas we'll go into. So let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to buy about 10 Pokeballs. That'll take 1,000 Pokedollars. And again, we are not rich this early on in the game. We'll earn money from battles and stuff. But for now, we're going to have to be careful about what we buy. I'm going to try and leave a little bit of money left over, just in case. I'm going to buy probably about 5 antidotes. And for the rest, I think I'll buy some potions. So we have some extra potions here. Didn't leave a whole lot of money, but we will be earning some more money soon, so it's not a big deal. And we have the items we need for the upcoming areas. So as a small tour of Viridian City, we have here the Trainer School, and this is for new players who need to learn, you know, the basics of Pokemon battling and all that stuff. But we'll skip that, and I think I'll try and explain it the best I can. Which, honestly, we're probably better off going to the Trainer School. But I think I'll stay away from that from now. Here is, I think this is just a house, honestly. Let me check. Yeah, it's just a house. Coming up with nicknames is fun, but it's not so easy to do. Clever names are nice, but simple names are easier to remember. You can change your Pokemon's nickname from the main menu, just as we learned early in this episode. A lot of these characters are kind of like tutorial characters, especially early on, so a lot of the NPCs kind of just mention stuff that you already know, most likely. This here we can't pass yet, but we will see how to pass that later on. But for now, let's go ahead and explore Route 2 and see if there's any Pokemon here that we have not captured. I see a Pidgey, which, you know, we have that taken care of. Oh, and I did not mean to run into that Bellsprout, but, you know. Let's go ahead and run away. Now, just like in previous Pokemon games, Pokemon are automatically added to the box once you capture them, or if there's spaces open in your party, they will be automatically added to the party. And with this game, with such an emphasis on capturing, it's a little bit weird with it filling up your party so quickly. So for right now, we're just going to keep a temporary team of whichever Pokemon we capture until we capture ones that we want to use in the party. So I think I'm going to capture this Weedle because we haven't encountered one yet. And that was a pretty good throw. I guess making up for my last throw. Alright. So now we have a Weedle, and we will discover a lot more Pokemon in the area that we're coming into, which is Viridian Forest. So let's go ahead and cut to that. So here we are in Viridian Forest, and we will discover quite a few trainers to battle and quite a few new Pokemon to capture. So this should be pretty entertaining. At least that is my hope. So let's see. Antidote. And I see a new Pokemon here. Let's go and check it out. This is Caterpie. So this is going to try and teach us how to use berries in capture sequences. So this is the raspberry, and it makes it a little bit easier to capture wild Pokemon. Let's go ahead and give it. And we can see that the circle that is closing in there has changed colors. So if it's green, it is the easiest to catch. If it's yellow, it's a little bit more difficult. Orange and red indicate the most difficulty in capturing. So we'll want to keep that in mind for later encounters. But for right now, let's see if we can capture this. And throw. One thing I really love about this game that I really wasn't sure how I'd feel about was the capture sequences. I really like the capture sequences, and honestly, that kind of surprised me because I wasn't the biggest fan of Pokemon Go, and it's not because I, didn't enjoy the game. I think it was because of where I live. I live in kind of a smaller area, and there aren't a lot of Pokemon around, unless I go to bigger areas on a trip or something. So I didn't really get a chance to, I guess, enjoy Pokemon Go like a lot of other people did. So this is kind of a cool way to experience those mechanics, where there will definitely be a lot of Pokemon. And here we have a Pikachu. Actually, fun fact, when I was playing on my main account, I didn't encounter any Pikachu in Viridian Forest, and I really need to go back and capture one, because I do not have a Pikachu yet. Alright, so let's see if we can capture it. Oh, knocked it out of the way. Let's try that again. Alright, I have a good feeling about this one. Broke out. So if you're unfamiliar with the capture mechanic in Pokemon, basically you throw a Pokeball of some sort at the Pokemon, and they will be enclosed within it. And then it will shake 3 times or less, depending on the Pokemon and how it's fighting. But they will try and break out, and if you have a successful capture, it will kind of click on the 4th shake. So let me see if I can demonstrate that here. If I can throw the ball. There we go. Alright, another breakout. Alright, 3rd try. I think this is the one. Maybe. It's just a nice, I don't know. Let's see. Nope, not it. Let me try an underhanded throw. I wonder if that'll make any difference. Actually, I think it makes 0 difference, but yeah, we're gonna have to do something about this. Oh, I think it just ran away. Yep. It's taking way too long. For now, let's check out this Pokemon. Wild Kakuna. Let's give it a capture. Alright, hopefully this isn't a Pikachu situation. Yep, we got it, first try. Pretty cool. So Kakuna is the evolution of Weedle, and Kakuna evolves into Beedrill, which we might see actually here in Viridian Forest. And our Pokemon are all leveling up, and that's kind of a thing that happens early on in the game with the experience share. That was a lot of stuff. One of the few complaints I have of this game would be that the level up stuff takes forever early on in the game, but that's just a tiny little complaint there. Not anything that's super serious. So I'll be cutting those little parts out in post. Alright, and here we have our first trainer battle here in Viridian Forest. And I have to remember to switch Eevee out of the first position, because Eevee's getting more experience points. We don't want to give Eevee too much attention out here. Alright, Caterpie. Alright, so let's actually try Pidgey. Because I think I might use Pidgey for a while. Oh, a tackle that did not do much damage. This Caterpie is level 3, so this should be a pretty easy fight. If everything goes well. Which, yes, it took only 1 hit. I don't know what I expected. Alright. So, one thing that's a little bit different about this game is that when you defeat trainers, sometimes they'll give you Pokeballs or different types of Pokeballs. And that's new because basically this game is so capture-centric, they probably want to give you extra Pokeballs just in case. So, let's give Pikachu another go here. I don't know why that... I hope I can improve my throws by the end of this Let's Play. 2 and 1 click. Alright, we got it. I was a little worried this would go like last time. Yeah, we definitely need to switch Eevee out of first spot. But for now, we can teach Eevee Double Kick, which is a fighting type move, and this will come in handy. So I'm going to replace Growl with Double Kick. Okay, so there are a few more trainer battles here, and we will be actually doing a lot of trainer battles throughout this game, so you probably should get used to that. 3 raspberries. Right, so one thing that is pretty cool about this game is, and I believe this was done in other Pokemon games, sometimes when you're out in the wild, you can hear a Pokemon cry, and if you recognize that cry, it'll give you a little hint as to which Pokemon are in the area. So if you're unfamiliar with which Pokemon are in a specific area, that can be pretty helpful. So, let's catch this Metapod. I thought that would be some kind of special throw, but I guess not. And that's an easy capture. Alright, so I think I'll move Bellsprout to the first position in the party. That way Eevee's not getting all of the experience here. And I believe we could fight this trainer. Maybe? Nope. Okay. Okay, I know for sure we can fight this trainer. Yep. Alright, let's start a battle. Hey, do you know if Bulbasaur appear in this forest? Actually, they do, and we will be trying to capture one. Blast Brittany. Alright, so shouldn't be too rough of a battle. Early on in the game, actually this game's pretty easy compared to some of the older Pokemon games, early on at least as far as I've played. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. I think one more attack and Nidoran should be out. And there we go. Nidoran has fainted. And what does that earn us? 18 experience, lesser experience for those in the party, and 80 Pokédollars for winning, and 3 Pokeballs. Not too bad. Okay, here we have another trainer battle. Yo, you can't punk out on a battle if you're a real Pokemon trainer. I will keep that in mind. And here we're starting the battle. Bugcatcher Doug. Okay. Kakuna. Yeah, this shouldn't be too bad either. Alright. For some reason, Viridian Forest always felt like a slog to me early on, at least in the early Pokemon games. In this one, it doesn't feel as bad to me. It probably wasn't that bad in the older games either, but, you know, I was younger when I played them, so. And Kakuna raising its defense will make it a little bit harder to knock it out, but we'll give it a try. Let's try Wrap. Change up our move variety here. Yeah, it's going to keep raising its defense. We'll eventually get it out. Actually, I think I'm going to switch over to our Pidgey and give that Pokemon a little bit of experience as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch out Pidgey. Switch out to Pidgey. Honestly, that might be the only move that Kakuna knows. Alright, let's do a Gust. Oh wow, that did a lot of damage. And also, I'm a little bit rusty on the type matchups too, so please remember that while I'm playing, if I forget any type matchups. I'll try and refresh myself on those between episodes, if I can. I thought I heard a weird Pokemon cry. I don't recognize that cry very well. I don't see anything, though. I'm probably missing something very good. And somebody in the comments will point that out to me. Okay. Do you want to know the trick for throwing a Pokeball well? Actually, I really need to know that trick because I was doing awful earlier. Alright, what do you have as a Pokemon? Pidgey. Well, I have a Pidgey too, and I also have a Bellsprout, which is going to fight you right now. Okay, what do we have? Not very many moves. Hopefully we learn some new moves soon. That's one hit. Wow. A little bit more damage than the average Pokemon that we face around here. And you're out. I don't really think we'll be needing to use a potion in the forest, at least. I probably shouldn't say things like that, but I don't think we'll need to use one. Because things seem to be going pretty well, at least this far. And I really won't be using the Nidoran duo there, because we already have a normal type Pokemon, and I think we're pretty much good to go with Eevee on that, so I'm not going to worry about teaching them any moves or anything like that. If I don't plan on using them, I won't be, teaching them any moves or any of that stuff. They're basically just filling up the party right now. Alright, haven't seen any crazy Pokemon appearances yet, but we might. You never know. We're almost out of the forest, so you never know, but we might come across a somewhat rare Pokemon. We'll see. Nothing so far. And it looks like another trainer battle. There's no rush, just going through the forest. Although we do need to get this episode done sometime, so won't be spending too long in the forest. Metapod, alright. Well, Bellsprout is probably going to cover until I can send out Pidgey. I think I actually might switch the first position in the party between Bellsprout and Pidgey pretty soon. That way Pidgey gets some XP as well. Alright. I think another Vine Whip or two should take care of Metapod. Yep, there we go. And I believe that is the exit of the forest. Alright, and we're earning some money too, which is always a good thing. Yeah, so this looks like the exit. Yep, leaving Viridian Forest. So we are arriving in Pewter City, and once we get there, we will be ending the episode. So let's go ahead and step through the tunnel here and enter onto Route 2. For now, we will be stopping, so thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check into the next episode, which hopefully, if nothing goes terribly wrong, will be coming out very soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.